Hello, crafty friends. Thank you so much for joining me for this little impromptu live. If you're new here, my name is Alicia, but you can call me Crafty Owl. If you are catching this on replay, you might want to fast forward 5 minutes or so. I'm going to give people some time to get in and get situated. Once the live is over and kind of rendered, I will add some chapters so it's easier to skip through for you. If you are here and over in the chat, please make sure to say hi. I see Catherine and Anne are here. If you are chatting with us today, you do need to be a subscriber. It's free, it's quick, it's easy. Just click on that button below this video to subscribe, and you'll be able to chat with us. I think I have a 1-minute delay on that. That's just to help me with the moderation of the comments. Now, if you are over in the chat box, make sure you have it turned to live chat and not top chat so you're seeing the latest messages. Welcome to Sharon and Cindy and Gloria and Catherine again. Sorry. Hello. Thank you for being here. I am going live here from Nebraska. I haven't been outside, but I am guessing it's pretty chilly. It's been in the 30s this week. We've had some freezing rain, some drizzle. It's clear today, but I'm guessing it's still cold. Let me know where you are watching from. And if this is your first time catching me live, why don't you put a 1 over in that chat box? I am going to give everybody a little bit to get in, and then we will get started on our card for today. Welcome, Roberta. Welcome, welcome. Oh, awesome, Melissa. So glad you are here and it's your first time with a live. Yay, Suzanne, Sharon. Oh, I'm so glad you're all here. So this is very impromptu. Usually I schedule my lives weeks in advance because I'm a little bit nervous about going live, especially when we're here on screen. I did not prepare myself or my hair or anything for this today, so you'll have to bear with me. But when we go to craft, you won't even see me. I do have my YouTube sweatshirt though. I am ready to go. Awesome. So many new friends. So today's live though, I decided I've been dabbling in TikTok, and I did a live over there earlier and made a really cute card. So I thought I would pop on here live and remake it for you. So yeah, I'm going to do that. It's a mini Slimline using some cute critters from Not Too Shabby and some ink blending and stenciling. And I had one other. Oh, at the end of the video, I'm going to give the card away. So you will need to go ahead and fill out the Google form for that if you want to be entered. Just a heads up, you do have to be present at the end of the video when I do the drawing to win it. So make sure you're going to stick around. The form you fill out, I have it pinned at the top comment over in the chat box, and it is also at the top of the description box below. I do go ahead and ask for your mailing address just so you don't have to contact me with it later if you are the winner. Now, once the form has been used and I get that card sent off, I will delete it. I'm not keeping any of that information or your addresses. Oh, hold on. Thank you to Catherine, who has asked us to like and subscribe, but please do that. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. That way the video gets sent out to more people who might be interested. Let me know. Why don't you let me know if you have ever made a mini Slimline card and what size you like to make them in. For myself, I like to do 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. I think it fits best in the envelopes I buy, and I actually just buy, I don't have them handy. I just buy like the cheap business size. You know, they're not quite like the number 10s, but they're just that standard envelope size you can get like anywhere, like Dollar Tree, Walmart, office supply stores. I think it always fits nicely in there. All right. Yay. Some people have already got their name in for the drawing. So why don't I go ahead and I'll take you to my desktop and you'll see the supplies I'm going to use. And then I'm going to show you the card that I'm going to try to recreate to my best ability. So in front of me are the supplies I'll be using today. I have put some of these in the description box below if you're interested in checking them out. The stamps I'm going to use are from the Not Too Shabby. Actually, these stamps and this paper pad are from the latest Not Too Shabby box of the month. Now, I have the paper pad out. I won't be using it, but I wanted you to see kind of where I got my color palette from. I like the pinks and blues and greens in here. So you'll see I did go ahead and get out some Gina K inks in those shades. And I pre-chose some markers to color with. I will have the colors all listed in that description box. Yes, aren't these so cute? If you haven't yet seen the new box of the month, the stamps are so adorable this month. I love these cozy forest friends. And it actually comes with a third set. Sorry. That are more forest friends, but these are more realistic. They're not wearing the scarves or the sweaters. Now, what we're going to try to recreate is this mini Slimline right here. So this is actually a single layer piece on top of a 3 1/4 by 6 1/4 card base. And I did stamping, masking, ink blending, and stenciling. So you'll see here too, one thing, if you've been watching my channel long, you know I'm not the best colorist and I try to get away with as little as possible. So I just did some selective or accent coloring on this card, and I'll kind of explain that later as we go along. Now this, I would say, is probably going to take me 45 minutes or so to get everything done right around there. So you might want to grab a drink, grab a snack, get those chatting fingers ready so you can chat along with us. If you have a question for me, please put my name in all caps. So either Alicia or Crafty Al in all caps, or if you start typing at Call Me Crafty Al and you're on a computer, like a laptop or a desktop, my name will pop up and you can click on it. And what that does, it highlights that message for me and just makes it easier for me to see that you have a question. Now, I know that so many other people over in the chat are knowledgeable about crafting. So if it's not specifically for me, just throw it out there to see if anybody else can answer it. But I say, let's go ahead and get started. I'll kind of keep this up here so we know what we're heading for. And trying to bring in what we need right now. So off camera, I did go ahead and I made my 3 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch card base. And then I pre-cut a piece of Nina Solar White in 3 by 6. I think that this is what I prefer for coloring, but I know that many of us who use alcohol markers have your own preferred brand. So whatever you like, I just cut to 3 by 6. And also beforehand, let me get my stamp set out. Since I've already made this card once, I did stamp and pre-cut the images on masking paper, and I just keep those on the back of my stamp cardstock right down in the protective cover and use these until they don't stick anymore. Yeah, Jay, it's kind of a springy color palette. I just thought it was a little bit different for the winter, so we're going to give that a try. Now what we're going to do is get our little critter stamped. So I will be using, of course, the MISTI, and I'm using all 5 animals. Because they have to be stamped just a little bit off of the card, and I want my cardstock to stay in place in the center of my MISTI, I am going to use my Brutus Monroe Tailored Expression Stick and Stamp mat. Now, I know some of you might have little Cricut mats or just the Brutus Monroe version or something else. But again, this is about the stickiness, a little bit stickier than a Post-it note, and you can clean it off and it is reusable. I use Judykins masking paper. It comes on a big roll like this, so I just tear some or cut some off. I do have a link in the description box below if you want to get more information on it, but it's just a big roll here. And even though I won't use my magnet to keep my cardstock in place, I do always use it to keep kind of my mouse pad and my stick and stamp mat in place. I'm going to set my animals up with this in a horizontal view. And just in case this would come up later and I needed to restamp the same image, I am going to align this bottom left-hand corner with one of these lines over here, maybe just that darkest one. There we go. And now I'm going to get out all my little critters. And if you're new to masking, I saw or heard a tip once that whatever you want to look like it's in the front of the group, you stamp first. So the front goes first. Let me know if you stamp mask very often or if you've never done it. I know that I don't do it a whole lot, but I love the results. So when I set mine up, I'm going to set up since I have an odd number, this is easy to set up across the card. I'll have 3 in the background and 2 in the foreground. So I'm going to make sure that the bottom of my animals are below where the cardstock is. I'll zoom in here a little bit. And I'm going to try my best to get an even border on the left and right of these animals. It's about 1/4 of an inch there. And then my center animal, I will center between those. Now these are barely coming off the bottom. When I bring in my stamps that will go on the front, I'm going to move them down a little. I don't know what you mean by. Oh, sorry, Siri's trying to help me out. I had my wrist bent too far. So I'm going to move them down just a little bit more. And finally our bear. Now, because the bear and the bunny are on top, that is what the door of the MISTI is going to pick up, sorry. So the other animals might kind of stick to it, but I just pull those off and set them to the side. And now I always use Memento Tuxedo Black when I am going to be coloring with my alcohol markers. So let me find that. Here we go. I probably will stamp and ink these up and stamp them a couple times since they are on the newer side. Oops, to just help me get a nice solid image. Using my presser tool, I get a lot of questions about this. My sister Lisa, who's Crafty Days here on YouTube, actually made this for me. It is super handy. It's a top of a staircase post that she painted and put felt on the bottom. And this circle is just perfect to hold on to with your hand. Now, we are on live. I want to tell you about a couple other lives. On Tuesday night, it is time for another Oh So Inspired live. We are trying a new day and time, just since the world's kind of opening back up and you might want to be out with your family on Saturdays. We're going to try Tuesdays, probably at least through the winter, and then we'll reassess when warmer weather comes, or if we find people aren't showing up for it, we might go back to Saturdays, but we're going to give that a try. Excuse me. You can set a reminder at my video, which is you can find under the live tab on my channel. And then next Friday, my friend Danny and I will be going live for another Fridays with Friends video. She is going to teach me how to make a loaded envelope. Yeah, loaded envelope or loaded pocket, loaded envelope. So if you want to watch that again, you can set a reminder at that video on my live tab. Jay, I usually do use my hand too, or I used to, but sometimes it wouldn't glide smooth. Now I do have on a long sleeve today, so that would be great for me to slide around. Yay, Cindy, so glad you have that alarm set. Now that we have our first animals done, I'm going to bring in my masks and mask off the bunny and the bear. I do have my brother scan and cut these with no border. You will see that it didn't cut perfectly at the edge, but this is going to work for me. So I'm going to line that up as best as I can. When I made these masks, I did cut the bunny whiskers off because the ink will just go right over those, so I didn't need to worry about leaving those on. Put those in place. You want them as close to the stamped image as possible. Masking paper, like if you don't have it, you can always use printer paper, or if you have Post-it notes, those work well for masking also. Now we're going to get those other animals set up. I'm going to try to remember about where I had them positioned earlier. And yeah, Jay, I have no regrets, or as I call them, regrets at all about purchasing a scan and cut. It was definitely an investment, but it is so handy to have. And you know, if you do other things, like I have cut stencils on mine before, you can of course use vinyl or cardstock for 3D projects. So it's not just for cutting out stamps. That is mainly what I use it for, but it does have a lot of other uses as well. Welcome, Nancy. We are making, if you're just joining us, we are trying to recreate this card, a little mini Slimline. We're getting ready to stamp our second layer of animals. Now, because we are stamping these after those first ones, they will show up behind the other animals. Sorry, my MISTI is I'm pressing pretty hard. It's making some weird creaky noises. Ink those up one more time, and then we'll go to our stenciling, our ink blending first. Don't forget, if you did come in late, I'm going to be giving this card away at the end of the video. There is a form at the top of the description box and at the top of the chat box for you to fill out. You do have to be present at the time of the drawing to win the card. Once I reveal the winner, I will have them just type in the chat box that they are here. I do go ahead and ask for your address, but I will not keep any of that. Once I have mailed out the card to the winner, I will delete that form. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and clean these off while I'm here. We will use this one time later to get our sentiment put on there. I could go ahead and do it now, but I would like it on top of the blending. Just so I don't want to blend over it, because sometimes if my ink isn't dry enough, then the blending likes to kind of smear that a little bit. Now we're going to put our remaining masks on. Once again, I cut these earlier today, and this is my second time using them. I do try to use them until the sticky runs out. Neighbor's rooster. Oh, that probably isn't the funnest, Catherine. Let me know in the comment section if you ordered the Not Too Shabby box of the month. I know that they have started to ship out, so many of you should have either received it, I think, or gotten your box by now. It was a little bit delayed this month. And the stick and stamp mat, I can just pull my cardstock up, and I do make sure to put that clear protective sheet right back over this. Now we'll do a little ink blending. You can see here before, I reuse this kind of stuff until I can't anymore. Oh, Jay, you should probably then, they have a hop-in giveaway that's still going, and you could enter to win and get yourself a gift certificate to the Not Too Shabby online store. So you could give some of their products a try. All right. So I just tack that down just so it stays in place. And no, I'm not going to do that yet. I almost said I was going to tack down my stencil, but I'm not yet. Let me just check the... Oh, Nancy, sorry to hear that. I hope you find something soon. That is definitely no fun. And if you're anything like me, you probably have stuff you could use for years with your crafting. I would like to be able to stop buying, but not because of that. I'm sorry to hear that. So now what we're going to do is bring in our inks. Once again, I chose these colors to go with the Snow Critters paper pad. I'm not using any of these papers in the final card, but I really liked this color palette, just kind of different for winter. As I do my blending, I'm going to go from the top of the cardstock down and only blend down about halfway. Now, because I'm going to do that, I am going to turn my piece of paper around just so I can blend, away from me down here. Get my brushes. We're going to start with the blue. And when I was choosing colors, I did make sure that when two of them touched, it wouldn't make a weird color. Like I wouldn't want to put the pink and the green together because it will make like kind of a muddy brown. So I knew that these would be kind of purple when they touched, and this would make a blue green. Katie, if your name wasn't close, like, if you put Katie V or something as your username, go back and just fill out another one. That if it's close to what it's showing up as, it's fine. Or when I announce the winner, you can just be like, oops, if it was you, you could just say, oh, that's me. I didn't put in the right name. All right. I think what I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to ink blend the blue. And I'm going to do this in the center from the bottom now to the top, but it will be the top down. I usually try to start a little bit off the paper just so I don't get it really concentrated there, and do a light hand at first, because like many of the crafters say, you can always add ink, but you can't really take any away. This is a pretty light blue, so you'll see it might take me a few layers to get it inked up, or just like layered up so it shows. I usually do clockwise and counterclockwise circles. And I'm going to try to keep this in kind of the middle third. That sounds good then, Katie. You can just let me know if you're the winner that was you, just to confirm. Catherine, I love Gina K inks. I started out, I just bought the ink cubes because I wanted to get some colored inks, but I didn't want to invest in full size until I knew what I wanted. So it was a perfect way to try it out. So I got the cubes one year for Christmas, and by the next Christmas, I knew that I loved her inks, and I got the full size. So now that I have some blue here, I'm just going to keep my ink concentrated more toward the top. I'm not going to go down as far. Okay. I'm going to set the blue to the side for now and bring in my pink blending brush and pink ink. Oops. My mask came up there. Got to make sure I keep that down when I ink blend there later. And it's the same thing. I'm just going from the top down, and I will make sure that I go a little bit over into the blue. Sorry, I'm kind of quiet now while I'm blending. Let me know over in the chat if you have any specific questions for me. Now that I have some pink there, I'm going to bring back in my blue brush, just kind of blend those out a little bit more, just add a little bit more blue there where they meet. Now later I might come back in with that blue a little bit more in the center. We'll kind of see how it looks. Okay. And if you look closely, you can see they're kind of creating a purple there where they meet. Now we're going to take the green and blend over here on the right. Now this one's nice and juicy, so I definitely do a light hand on this. It goes down a lot quicker than the pink and the blue. I'm slowly collecting refills for all of my inks, but that's going to take me a little bit. Now, I'm not going to remove this from the back, or I'm not going to remove this from my grid paper or take my masks off yet, because I am going to bring in the Snow Flurries background stencil, which is one that I designed maybe last year for Not Too Shabby or earlier this year. And it is just this scattering of snowflakes. Catherine, I keep my blending brush in one of these, so it just goes, I do Roy G. Biv from left to right. I got this at Five Below. It's just a makeup brush holder, but I have heard other people say they can find them at Walmart. And yet, oh, thank you, Debbie, for reminding people to hit the like button. Thank you. All right, so now I'm going to take my snowflake stencil, and it doesn't matter that it's still upside down. I got to find, I'm going to hold it in place with just a couple pieces of painter's tape that I've removed most of the tack from. And I'm just going to line it up here, and I'm going to ink blend in basically the same place, where I'll go from the edge down just a little bit with the same colors in those spots. Then when I remove this later, the snowflake areas will be just a little bit darker. Catherine, do you mean the brush is dried out and crunchy, or the holder? I know I need to probably clean these brushes. Some of them are getting a little hard. I need to look up and figure out how to clean them. If you have any tips, let me know. I don't know if I have to buy a special cleaner for them. Before, I have tried just like a little light soapy water. And I just make sure when I dry them that the brush is sitting like this over the edge of the sink, because I know you don't want the water to soak into here, because then it could mess with the glue that holds the bristles in. Okay, I think that's probably good for the blue. I'm going to do the same thing with the pink. Again, I'm concentrating the most color here at the edge. I did notice that my brushes, like this green one, it's still nice and soft, but I used my pink and my blue on some Tailored Expressions inks before I went to Stamp Joy, and those are the ones that feel like I need to clean them. They're a little bit harder. I don't know if it's just a different formulation of ink. All right. Oh, whoop, wrong area. I just put my pink brush over in the blue. Just want to brush that out a little bit, and I think we're done. So my favorite part, let me know if it's your favorite part too when you ink blend and stencil, is the reveal. So here you see how the snowflakes are just a little bit darker and it fades to white down here, but we haven't gotten the best part yet. We have to remove these masks. So I got to get the back of this ready so I can keep those. Oops. Oh, thank you, Catherine, for the kind words about my stencils. I love to make stencils. I love to design them. It's so fun to see something I designed actually out there. So here we go. We have our little group of snow critters all masked. So we don't have, the fox's tail isn't stamped onto the bear or anything like that. Now for the little bit slower part, I am going to color these while we're on screen together. And I like to use the Spectrum Noir TriBlends just because all the shades are here in one marker. 42 Rosie, I love it. If the reveal isn't your favorite part, then maybe you need to rethink ink blending and stenciling. I like that. That is a very good point. So as I go to color my animals, I am going to do the same kind of colors across. So this first, the fox will only have pink. The bear will have some pink and blue. My deer will be only blue. And then we'll do blue-green for the rabbit, and then only green for the little beaver over there. Oh, Jay, if you can get these on sale, I would say to go for it if that's what you're talking about. I love these. I used to have Copic, but they just became too much for me. I just like how the shades are already thought out here. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the pale pink blend and the lightest one to color in the cheeks of my animals. A lot of the Not Too Shabby stamps have a little area reserved for the cheeks. I like that because then I don't have to guess where the cheeks go. Now I know these animals really don't need rosy cheeks, but it's fun to have that little area, I think. Okay. Now using the same light pink, I'm going to do a pink and white striped scarf for this fox. So I'm going to put down the light pink on every other stripe. Now I'm going to go in with the dark end and put a little line where I want the shading. Now these are pretty small areas, so the shading isn't as obvious, but I still go ahead and do it. I do think it makes a difference. So I'm going to put a little on each edge of that colored area. Then I'm going to take the mid-tone of the marker and color just a little way from the dark into the light. Again, you won't see much of a difference because the area is so small, but the larger area you have to color, the more obvious it is. Then I go back to my lightest color and I color from the mid over where the light already was. So I'll hold it up, but yeah, on this, you really can't tell the shading yet. As we move down, especially here for our beaver scarf, you might be able to see it a little bit better. Kathleen, these are Spectrum Noir TriBlend markers. Now for our bear, I want to do pink and blue stripes. So doing the same thing, I'll color every other stripe in pink. And I do that same shading technique. When I go to put on my shadow, the part that goes across the neck here, I usually do my lines at the top and bottom. And the part that comes down from the neck, I do it on the sides. I just think that makes that area look a little more rounded, just maybe more realistic. While I'm coloring, I might not talk too much, just so I've already colored a little bit outside the line, but it might help me stay in the line. Again, keep those questions coming. Put my name in all caps if you need to get my attention, or you might just talk amongst yourselves as well. Now, the other stripes in that scarf are going to be blue. So again, I'm going to color every other stripe with the lightest marker in my TriBlend. And I'm going to go in with the dark and do my shadows. I'll go ahead and show you this. You can kind of, maybe you can see that, how here I have the line on the left and right, and across the neck it's on the top and bottom, but I also put a little shadow right there where that top is over the neck part, because you would naturally have a shadow there. Then I'm going to come in with that mid and color just a little bit more. You just want to kind of blend that darkest color down into the light, but not all the way, because you want to leave a highlight there. And then after that, you go back to the light and color over it all. Or you can just go from the mid into that light center area. So we'll see if you can maybe see the shading on that a little bit better. So it's kind of, it should be lighter kind of on this curve and on the neck curve. Now for the middle one, we're just going to use the blue. Welcome, Rita. You're not late at all. We are just coloring now. I will be giving away my card at the end of the video. So if you are going to be here and you want to enter to win, you can fill out the form that is pinned at the top of the chat box or down in the description box. All right. Sorry, try to get to my green too soon. So we're going to, on his scarf, since it's just going to be blue and white, I'm going to color the largest stripes with blue. Uh-oh, I put my marker caps on the wrong ends. They do kind of like this end cap is a little bit lighter than the other end cap. They are marked with, you know, light, middle, dark. So if your caps would come off, you do know. I just try to like to keep them in their place. If you're interested in finding out more about anything I use, I did put some links in the description box of anything I could find. If you use those links, and I'm not talking just for me, but most YouTubers or people who share online, they have affiliate links. And if you use those, we get a portion of the sales. And I know for me, that just helps me keep buying stuff to share here on YouTube. And it doesn't actually cost you anything extra as the purchaser, but it just kind of lets us know that you like what you're seeing and you appreciate us sharing our videos. So if you have a favorite crafter who you like to watch, you could always ask them if they have some affiliate links for you to use if you're going to purchase what they share. Or like, I know I have some people who will just come and use my affiliate links, like that are just store specific, and just shop even if it's nothing specific I've shared recently. It's always nice to get that little check every few months. So here we go. There's our blue scarf. And now for our rabbit, we'll do blue and green, and we'll just do every other color, just kind of like on our bear over here. Now, if you join late and you're wondering, why is she only coloring the scarves? Coloring is not my favorite. I'm not really confident in my coloring skills. So I try to color as little as possible. So I like to do what I call selective coloring, or like highlight coloring or something, and just maybe use a color or two that brings in the pattern paper or the background and adds a little extra color to the image. And now our green. Oh, thank you, Cindy. I'm just trying to take my time. And again, you know, like cute little critters like this, I feel much better coloring than something that has to look realistic. Like I shared this card the other day, and I actually did color the entire image. And again, these don't have to look like real animals, so I'm okay with this. And it's smaller areas. But yeah, you get me a cute little critter, or just cute little images, you know, like ice cream cones or rainbows where they don't have to look realistic. I do enjoy that better. Oh, hello, Lisa. Thank you. Thanks for that thumbs up. Crafty Days is my sister. She's the one who made me the presser tool I was showing you earlier when I stamped. And she, I think, will be joining Danny and I on Tuesday for Oh So Inspired Live. So make sure to, when you're done here, check out my live videos tab and get reminders set for those videos for Tuesday and then next Friday. There we go. Okay, now finally, our little beaver scarf is only going to be green. And on this one, you might be able to see more of the shading since it's a slightly larger area. Because his whole scarf, it's not striped like the other animals. And yeah, I don't think there's any need to color realistic when you're coloring scarves on animals, right? Because we know that's not realistic. Okay. So on this area, the artist has put some lines in here where the shadows should go. So I outlined the scarf area itself, and then I went in a little bit extra over those lines. I'm just coming in now with the mid-tone to pull that dark in just a little way, but I still want to highlight. Now, if you think that your colored area is too flat, you can always come back in with the dark and just go ahead and re-add the shaded area. It just gives it a little bit more definition or dimension, like that. There we go. All right. Now we don't have much more to do, so make sure if you want to win this card that you get your name in that form. All we have to do now is add our sentiment and get this on a card base. Oh, thank you, Jeremy, for my thumbs up also. I appreciate it. Okay. Bring back in my MISTI, and this time I'm just going to put it down in that lower corner since we don't have to stamp off the edge. And find my other stamp set. Okay. For my sentiment, I decided to use the Snuggle Weather stamp set. I thought a friendly hello went well with this. Then you could send this for lots of different occasions, you know, in the winter or cold season. And I'm going to put it up here in the upper right. Since our beaver is a little bit smaller and has some extra white space, I'm going to put the sentiment to this side to help balance out from left to right. Okay, I want to make sure that's looking pretty straight across. And now for this, because it's a sentiment, I'm going to bring in some VersaFine Onyx Black. I like to use this when I do sentiments just because they're a little bit more fine detail. Now, also when I do sentiments, I will not be using the presser tool that Lisa made me because you don't ever want to press this too much and have it kind of like squish out and make some of the letters thicker in different areas. So I gently rub this again, just like with the ink blending. You can always add another layer of ink, but you can't take it away. So depending how this stamps, we might stamp it one more time. I don't know. I think that's, yeah, let's go ahead and stamp it one more time, but it actually looks really good. Oh, that is a good idea with the Northern Lights. I've never seen them in real life. Let me know if any of you have actually seen them. IRL. All right, here we go. So now to finish it off, take a wild guess what I'm going to add. Go ahead and put that in the chat box to finish my card off. I might have already said it too, so you might have gotten a hint. Clean this while you guys give me your guesses. What does every card need a little bit of? Ding, ding, ding. Our first answer, Rita got it. Every card needs a little bling. Roberta, when we're done here, like if you go, I'll try to show you when we're done, but if you go to the live tab on my channel, if you click on Oh So Inspired and Friday with Friends, there should be a bell icon. We can check that out when we go over to pick our winner, okay? All right. Now, glitter is a form of bling, Lisa, so I'll give you that. Yes. Or embellishments, yes. I just like to add a little sparkle, but I embellishments probably is pretty close to, because sometimes I'll add just regular enamel dots that are glossy, but they're not necessarily sparkling. So what I'm going to use today is sparkling. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. These are transparent sparkle enamel dots from Trinity Stamps, and they are clear, but they have glitter inside of them. They are so pretty. So pretty. We are going to, not the safest way to apply enamel dots. I like to use my nonstick scissors, and I'm going to put 3 around the sentiment. I'm going to try to use some of the larger ones. I always seem to bypass those, but they need love. They need to be used too. All right, these are really nonstick. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 large one down here, kind of to the bottom right of the sentiment. I'm going to put 3 around the sentiment just to help that kind of stand out. And then I'm going to use a couple of the smaller ones in 2 different sizes and put those in the upper left. I maybe should have put this on my card base first, but we'll make it work. And then a second one. You'll see there we got a little sparkle. I have my mini Slimline card base here. Oh, Catherine, that's a good point. I tell you what, last month, YouTube went in and changed the design and moved so many things around. It is like difficult now to find some things. And now I'm just going to kind of center this on the card front. And because my cardstock that I stamped and ink blended on is smaller than the card base, we have just a little bit of a defined line or a little matting here on that. I like how at the top you have the color meeting the white, and at the bottom it just blends down to white. So there it is. All right. So Roberta, it might look different on the computer compared to your phone, but we'll see if I can at least show you on the computer so you can get it get set up. All right, so now make sure to get those final entries in if you want to win the card. I'll go ahead and see now. Hi guys, it's me again. I'll go ahead, let's see if we can get over to YouTube and look at the videos, and then we'll pick a winner. So let me pause. Let me pause this just so I'm not trying to stream more stuff. All right. So if you go to my channel, and now, you know, live videos used to be just in the videos tab, but now it's separate. I'm not too crazy about that, but that's what they've done. So if you click on the live tab, and like, here we go. So here is Next Friday with Friends, where Danny's going to show me how to make loaded envelopes. And then we have Tuesday nights Oh So Inspired Live, which Danny and I think my sister now are going to be joining me. So if you click on one of these, let's go this one. Oh, so I'm not sure what it looks like on a phone, but right over here on the left of the video, you'll see notify me. So if you click on that, a little bit before we're going to go live, it should pop up a notification, I guess on your phone. Like, I don't think if you're like your phone, you know, it's probably going to pop up a notification. Your computer, you might just get like up here in the upper right of YouTube, you see this bell and it has a number. That's when you're going to get your notifications there. So that unfortunately won't alert you. For me, I know sometimes I'll set an alarm on my phone. Like my phone lets me set, an alarm for Tuesday night at 6:15, and I can actually label it, you know, live with Alicia or live with Crafty Owl, whatever. And then it will only go, I choose like every Tuesday, and it will only beep on Tuesday. So hopefully that, why don't we, while we're here, I'm going to give you like 1 more minute. I'm going to give you 1 more minute to get the form filled out, and then we'll choose a winner. Zoe, I do not have any videos using the scan and cut. I use it for just basically cutting stamps, and everything I learned, I watched YouTube videos. The one that is coming to mind, I think it's called The Papered Chef. She has tons of videos on the scan and cut. Now, the only thing I don't like about the scan and cut is the mats are really expensive, and I swear that mine lost its stickiness after the first day. So anytime I cut something, I have painter's tape that I keep on the inside of my machine, and I just like keep it in place with that, and then the painter's tape pulls up. So I always make sure my stamped image has area around it on the cardstock for me to tack that down a little extra. I know, I think Danny uses some spray adhesive that works temporarily for her. It's the only downfall that I can find so far. All right. Oh, so Susie Q says you'll get an email, so that might help too. Awesome. All right, let's go pick a winner, people. We're going to share the screen. And we'll go here. We'll refresh. 29 of you want my card. And we will see, let's see. So 29, we're going to go to random.org, 1 through 29. And number 7 is our winner. Let's see who that is. Our winner is, oh, Linda, I don't have a YouTube name. I forgot to mark these as required. I do not see a Linda in here. Let me stop the share and I'll look at the mailing address to see if there was another name there. I just don't want to share that online. Linda from Indiana. Let me know if you're still here in the chat. If you're not, then I'll pick a new winner because I do want the person to be here at the end of it. So Linda, just put a little message over there so I know that you're still here, because that was one of the requirements, to be here at the end when we did the drawing. So Linda from Indiana, I'll give you a minute or so to put a message there. But while we wait for that, here's just a look with the front-facing camera at the card. Again, if you liked any of the products I use and you want to find out more information, I did link some of it in the description box below. Okay, Linda from Indiana. Maybe just a minute. While we're here, if you have any questions while we're waiting. Mary, let me know what you do to not have issues. Mine is barely, so it's still kind of sticky, probably like a Post-it note, but it doesn't stick well enough that if I don't use the blue tape, it doesn't stick well enough that it doesn't like shift while it's cutting, if that makes sense. So. What camera do you use to stream with? So I use what's in my arsenal, you know, my whole channel, the stuff I do live. I really tried to use stuff that I already had. I didn't buy like, you know, real studio lights for a long time. I use, when it's front facing like this, we are actually on my MacBook. And then when it's overhead, I use my iPhone, my older one, which I think this is an 8 or 9, and there is an app called Epoch Cam Pro. You do need to have the pro version of it, and it was like $8 to $10, and it allows me to hook it up with a USB cable and use it like a webcam. So that allows me to zoom in when I would just use my my phone I could do it some other way where I use my phone, but I wasn't able to zoom in. So it's kind of hard to see detailed stuff. So it was like a one-time $8 to $10, totally worth it. Hope that helped. All right. Linda Gorman, are you from Indiana? Is that you? Or was it a different Linda? Please let me know, because I'm going to pick another winner here in just a minute. Linda, are you from Indiana? Rhonda, so I use Zoom to go live. Now, if it was just me going live, I could use something like OBS. But when I have guests on, the only thing I can figure out is using Zoom. Very easy. Now, that is something I think I pay like $15 for a month to be able to do that. And I can choose in my Zoom settings, like which camera or which microphone I want to use. So I can just switch between the two. Super quick and easy. All right. All right, Linda G, let me know if you're from Indiana. Otherwise, we're going to go pick another winner. But I know with like OBS, I could probably use the same setup, since it turns this kind of into a webcam. It would just be a different input or whatever. Linda, if you're not from Indiana, if you'll put no over there too, just so I know as well. Linda G. I think it was Indiana. Let me go look at that again. Sorry for the delay on this, guys, but I really wanted the winner to have been here the whole time watching. All right, let's go ahead and we will pick another winner. It looks like Linda, because I didn't even get like a last name or anything. It was just Linda, and there was no YouTube username either. So let's pick another one. Sorry, guys, but I guess it's kind of your win, because you get another chance, right? Yeah, sure. I like to help where I can and answer what I can. Okay, let's go here. So we're going to get, oh, now there's more. Now there's more. Sorry, guys, I have to stick with those. Well, you know what? If you're still here, we'll go ahead and put it into 31. Since I think some people might have left and not have read that you have to be present to win. Number 24. Let's see. All right, Marie Honey 31. Are you still here? Marie Honey 31, let me know. I have not tried cleaning it with Dawn dish soap, Mary. I can maybe try that. Do you use like the Dawn power wash, or do you use like the dish soap that would sprinkle? Because I think that power wash is kind of strong. Awesome. So Marie is here. So Marie, since I have your address, let me just make sure I won't share the screen, but awesome. Marie, I will send your card out the next time I go to the post office, which normally I just go on Fridays, but I have to go get some shipping tape for something else that has to go out. So I might go earlier in the week. We'll see, but it will definitely go out by Friday. Thank you, everybody, for being here and watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I made my card. Now, after this live is over, it takes it a while to render with the comments, but once it does that, I can add chapters. So if you want to come back and watch the replay, you can skip to certain parts, like I'll put when I get started crafting, and maybe when I do the ink blending and seeing the final card, I'll put those in so it's easy to skip ahead. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. I hope that you all have a great rest of your Saturday or Sunday, depending where you're at in the world. I always appreciate you joining me here. And until then, guys, I hope that you are all having a crafty day. Bye-bye.